Human's green magic saves alien royalty, ties him to her crown. Imagine a palace adrift in the cosmos, where starlight isn't born of suns but trapped in towering pillars of crystal that pulse like living things. Floors of polished meteor stone gleam beneath your feet, reflecting the shattered dreams of 1,000 galaxies. This is Astralis, the iron heart of the Virian Empire, a dominion that binds hundreds of star systems in chains of power and secrets. In its throne room, vast as a cathedral and cold as the void, a man kneels, blood dripping from his battered face, his eyes alight with a fire no empire can extinguish. His name is Torin Varn, a farmer from the forgotten fields of Erendor, and today he's about to set the stars ablaze. The crack of a plasma rifle's butt against Torin's chest reverberates through the chamber, sending him sprawling across the slick meteor stone. Blood spills from his split lip, painting crimson streaks on the black surface as he gasps, pain radiating through his ribs. Above him looms Commander Korath, a giant clad in obsidian armor, his 4 golden eyes burning with contempt. "Crawl, you filth, from Erendor," Korath snarls, his voice a low growl that shakes the air. The court, draped in robes that shimmer like liquid starlight, erupts in mocking laughter, their alien tongues weaving a tapestry of scorn that echoes off walls lost in shadow. Torin doesn't bow. He forces himself to his knees, then to his feet, blood dripping down his chin. His dark eyes meet Korath's, steady and unyielding. "If I'm filth," he says, voice rough but sharp as a shard of glass, "why's your empire trembling over a farmer?" The words land like a spark in dry grass. The court's laughter dies, replaced by a tense murmur, as if Torin has cracked something sacred. Korath's hand grips his energy blade, its purple glow flaring, but a voice slices through the room, deep and commanding, like thunder rolling across a distant nebula. "Enough." Emperor Thalor rises from his throne, a jagged masterpiece of molten metal and ancient bone carved with the ghosts of creatures older than the stars. His ceremonial armor glints like a supernova's edge, his pale blue skin glowing faintly, as if lit by an inner flame. But his eyes, sharp and haunted, aren't fixed on Torin. They linger on a medical platform beside the throne where a young woman lies, her breaths faint, each one a fragile thread in a tapestry unraveling. Princess Silvara, Thalor's only daughter, is the Empire's fading hope. Her blue skin, meant to shimmer like twilight, is dull, ashen. Her golden hair fans across the platform like spilled sunlight, but her violet eyes, dimmed by pain, hold a spark of defiance that refuses to fade. She's dying, consumed by a cosmic fungal parasite that gnaws at her from within, mocking the Empire's most advanced technology. Thalor steps forward, his presence filling the room. "This is the rebel who led Erendor's defiance?" he asks, his voice a blade wrapped in velvet, heavy with a father's grief. "A farmer who thought he could stand against Virian?" Torin wipes blood from his mouth, standing taller despite the ache in his bones. "I didn't stand against your empire, your majesty," he says, his tone steady, carrying the weight of a man who's seen too much. "I fought for the fields you torched, the people you buried." The court gasps, their whispers a rising tide. Korath's blade hums louder, but Thalor raises a hand, silencing him. "You speak of loss," the Emperor says, his eyes narrowing, "when your rebellion cost me 3 legions. Torin doesn't flinch. "Your legion's blood, my people's blood. It feeds the same soil, your majesty. Nothing grows but sorrow." The air thickens, every eye on Torin. Then a sound pierces the silence. A faint, labored breath from the medical platform. Silvara stirs, her pain a quiet cry that cuts deeper than any blade. Torin's gaze shifts to her, and their eyes lock. Time slows. Her yellow-tinged nails, the tremors in her fingers, the way her breaths hitch every 15 seconds. He knows these signs, not from people, but from the fields of Erendor, where a fungal blight once choked the crops, stopped only by the sap of verdant thorn, a plant his grandmother swore by. "Her symptoms," Torin says, his voice breaking the stillness, startling the court. "They're not a disease. It's a parasite, a fungus. I've seen it before." Laughter erupts from Chief Medic Vrenna, her silver hair coiled like a constellation, her voice dripping with disdain. "A dirt grubber from a nowhere planet claims he can save the princess when our greatest minds have failed." But Torin ignores her, his eyes on Silvara, catching the faint hope in her gaze. "This fungus isn't natural," he says, conviction hardening his words. "It was made, and I know how to kill it." Thalor steps closer, his shadow swallowing Torin. "You believe you can save my daughter?" Torin's hand finds the leather cord around his neck, where a small pendant holds the last seeds of Arendor, his grandmother's gift, his people's legacy. "I have seeds," he says, voice firm, "and the knowledge to use them, but I have a price." The court's murmurs swell into outrage. Korath snarls, his blade flashing, but Thalor's raised hand stills the room. "Name it," the Emperor says, his tone cold as the space between stars. Torin meets his gaze, unflinching. "Freedom for Arendor's people, no pursuit, no retribution." A chilling smile curves Thalor's lips. "You bargain with an empire, farmer? So be it. Save Silvara and your people walk free. Fail and you'll choke on the ashes of your world." As guards seize Torin's arms, dragging him toward the chamber's exit, he steals one last glance at Silvara. Her lips move, her voice a whisper that burns into his soul. "Don't let me die, Torin." The doors slam shut behind him, but the weight of her words lingers. Torin's fate, Silvara's life, and the Empire's future now hang on a razor's edge. What he doesn't know is that the fungus isn't just a killer, it's a weapon, forged by a traitor within these crystalline walls. And Torin, a farmer with nothing but seeds and stubbornness, is about to become the spark that ignites a revolution. Can he outwit an empire and save a princess? Or will he uncover a betrayal that could burn the stars themselves? Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning, and the next chapter will blow your mind. The stars burn cold above Astralis, their light filtered through the translucent dome of the royal greenhouse, a cathedral of glass and alien flora, orbiting the heart of the Virian Empire. Vines that pulse with bioluminescent sap twist around pillars of living crystal, and flowers with petals like molten silver hum softly, as if whispering secrets of forgotten worlds. In the center of this strange Eden stands Torin Varn, his bruised hands cradling a handful of dirt from a planet that no longer belongs to him. Blood still crusts his lip from the throne room's brutality, but his eyes, dark, unyielding, gleam with a farmer's stubborn faith. He's a prisoner in an empire that could crush him with a thought, yet he holds the key to saving its princess. But as he sows the seeds of Arendor, a shadow looms, one that threatens to choke his hope before it can bloom. Torin kneels beside a hydroponic tray, the alien soil strange beneath his fingers, laced with minerals that shimmer like crushed stars. The pendant around his neck swings free, its leather cord worn thin, revealing a tiny compartment where the last seeds of his homeworld rest. Verdant thorn and ember bloom, plants his grandmother swore could heal anything. He presses a single seed into the soil, his movements reverent as if planting not just a crop, but a piece of his soul. The greenhouse hums with the quiet rhythm of automated misters, but the air feels heavy, charged with the weight of unseen eyes. Commander Korath stands at the entrance, his 4 golden eyes narrowed, his energy blade sheathed but ever ready. "Work fast, farmer," he growls. "The princess fades, and so does his majesty's patience." Torin doesn't look up. "Plants don't rush," he says, his voice steady despite the ache in his ribs. "They grow when they're ready, like hope." Korath snorts, but Torin's focus stays on the soil, calculating nutrient balances in his head. The cosmic fungus gnawing at Princess Silvara is no ordinary blight. It's engineered, precise, a weapon disguised as nature. He's seen its kind before, choking Arendor's fields. But this is different. Its patterns are too deliberate, its spread too calculated. Someone wanted Silvara dead, and they wanted it to look like fate. The greenhouse doors slide open with a hiss, and a figure steps through, her presence softening the sterile air. Silvara, supported by a hovering medical drone, moves slowly, her blue skin still pale, her golden hair catching the greenhouse's eerie glow. Her violet eyes, though clouded with pain, carry a quiet strength that makes Torin's breath catch. She's draped in a simple gown, not the ornate robes of a princess, and for a moment she seems less like royalty and more like a woman fighting to live. "You're still here," she says, her voice soft but clear, a melody against the greenhouse's hum. "I thought they'd have scared you off by now." Torin rises, wiping dirt from his hands. "Takes more than a few bruises to scare a farmer, Your Highness." A faint smile tugs at her lips, and he feels a warmth he hadn't expected, like sunlight breaking through Arendor's clouds. She steps closer, the drone adjusting to her weight, and studies the tray of soil. "These seeds," she asks, "they're from your world?" Torin nods, touching the pendant. "My grandmother's. She said they could fix anything, crops, wounds, even hearts." Silvara's eyes flicker with something like curiosity or maybe recognition. "And you believe her?" she asks. Torin meets her gaze. "I'm still alive, aren't I?" Their words hang in the air, a fragile bridge between two worlds. Silvara lowers herself onto a bench carved from translucent stone, her drone settling beside her. "I've never left Astralis," she admits, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've studied stars, read about planets like yours, but I've never felt soil under my feet, never known what it's like to grow something." Torin kneels beside her, his rough hands contrasting with the greenhouse's polished surfaces. "It's not about the soil," he says. "It's about trusting what's beneath it. Life finds a way, even in the dark." For a moment, they're not a prisoner and a princess, just two people caught in a storm they didn't choose. But the moment shatters as Chief Medic Vrenna storms into the greenhouse, her silver hair glinting like a blade under the artificial light. "This is absurd," she snaps, her voice sharp enough to cut crystal. "You're wasting time with this dirt magic when our finest biotech has failed." Torin stands, his jaw tightening. "Your biotech's blind," he says. "It scans for machines, not nature. This fungus mimics life. It's why you can't see it." Vrenna's eyes narrow, but Silvara raises a trembling hand. "Let him work," she says, her tone firm despite her weakness. "Unless you have a better idea, Vrenna." The medic's lips purse, but she retreats, casting a venomous glance at Torin. Korath shifts uncomfortably, his hand resting on his blade. Torin returns to his tray, but unease coils in his gut. Vrenna's hostility feels personal, calculated, like a predator circling. He brushes it aside, focusing on the soil, but then he notices something, a faint shimmer in the hydroponic tray, barely visible, like a thread of liquid metal. He scrapes it with his fingernail, holding it to the light. It's no mineral, it's nanotech, woven into the fungus's structure, a signature of deliberate design. His blood runs cold. This isn't just a weapon, it's a masterpiece of betrayal, and someone in Astralis built it. Silvara catches his expression, her eyes sharpening. "What is it?" she asks. Torin hesitates, glancing at Korath, whose gaze is too steady, too watchful. "Nothing," he lies, pocketing the sample, "just checking the soil." But his mind races. The nanotech means the fungus wasn't smuggled in, it was grown here under the Empire's nose. And if it's tied to Silvara's illness, the traitor is closer than anyone suspects. He looks at her, her fragile form a stark contrast to the fire in her eyes, and feels a surge of resolve. He's not just fighting for Arendor's freedom anymore, he's fighting for her. As Silvara rises to leave, her drone whirring softly, She pauses, her fingers brushing his arm. "Torin," she says, her voice low, "if you're right about this, you're risking more than you know." He nods, the weight of her words settling like stone. "Some risks are worth taking," he says. She offers a small, weary smile, then glides out, leaving him alone with the plants and the watching eyes of Korath. Torin kneels back at the tray, his fingers trembling as he plants another seed. The greenhouse feels smaller now, the shadows deeper. He's a farmer in a world of blades and betrayal, armed only with seeds and secrets. But as the first sprout of verdant thorn pushes through the alien soil, a spark of hope ignites. Can Torin unravel the conspiracy before the fungus claims Silvara, or will the traitor strike first, burying his seeds and his dreams in ash? Stick around, because the Empire's darkest secrets are about to bloom, and you won't believe what's coming next. The royal chambers of Astralis glow like the inside of a star, their walls woven from liquid crystal that shifts in hues of sapphire and amethyst, painting Torin Varn's bruised face with fleeting light. The air hums with the faint pulse of alien tech, but Torin's focus is on the woman before him. Princess Silvara, her blue skin still pale, her violet eyes sharp despite the cosmic fungus draining her life. The greenhouse's fragile hope, those first sprouts of verdant thorn, has bought her a few more days, but time is a thief, and Torin's discovery of nanotech in the fungus has lit a fire in his gut. Someone in this glittering palace wants Silvara dead, and every seed he plants pulls him deeper into a web of betrayal. Tonight, under the watchful gaze of an empire, he'll risk everything to keep her alive and uncover a truth that could shatter the stars. Torin adjusts a portable scanner, its holographic display flickering with Silvara's vitals. She sits on a cushioned platform, her golden hair catching the crystal light, her breathing uneven but steadier than before. "Your hands," she says, her voice soft but piercing the room's hum. "They're steady, even now." Torin glances at his calloused fingers, still dusted with greenhouse soil. "Years of pulling weeds," he says with a half-smile. "Keeps you calm when the world's falling apart." She laughs, a small, bright sound that makes his chest tighten, and for a moment the weight of Astralis lifts. But the moment fades as Torin studies the scanner. The fungus's nanotech signature pulses in her bloodstream, cycling every 13 minutes, syncing with her tremors. "It's not just eating you," he says, his voice low. "It's programmed to hide, to mimic your cells. That's why their machines can't stop it." Silvara's eyes narrow, catching the edge in his tone. "You found something in the greenhouse, didn't you?" she asks. Torin hesitates, the memory of that shimmering nano thread burning in his mind. He wants to tell her someone here built this weapon, but Commander Korath's shadow looms outside the chamber, his golden eyes ever watchful. "Just soil quirks," Torin lies, his jaw tight. "But I need to check you closer. The fungus is personal. It's tailored to you." Silvara nods, lifting her arm for the scanner, but her gaze holds his, searching. "You're not just a farmer, Torin," she says. "No one risks this much for a bargain." He pauses, the pendant of Arendor seeds heavy against his chest. "Maybe I'm tired of watching things die," he says, thinking of his burned fields, his lost family. Her expression softens and she touches his wrist, her fingers warm despite her illness. "Then we're not so different," she whispers. "I've watched this empire tear itself apart, and I'm still fighting to hold it together." Their quiet is shattered by the chamber doors hissing open. Chief Medic Vrenna sweeps in, her silver hair glinting like a blade, her voice sharp as splintered glass. "This is reckless," she snaps, gesturing at Torin's scanner, "subjecting the princess to untested human nonsense when her condition worsens." Torin stands, his patience fraying. "Her condition's stable because of my nonsense," he retorts. "Your tech's blind to what's killing her." Vrenna's eyes flash, but Silvara raises a hand, her voice cutting through. "Enough, Vrenna. Torin stays. His methods work." Vrenna's lips thin and she storms out, but not before casting a look at Torin that feels like a promise of trouble. Alone again, Torin recalibrates the scanner, his mind racing. The nanotech's precision suggests a traitor with access to Silvara's medical records. Someone like Vrenna, or worse, someone higher. He needs time, but time is running out. "I need to adjust your treatment," he says, meeting Silvara's gaze. "Daily doses of verdant thorn extract, but I'll need to monitor you closely." She nods, then hesitates, her voice low. "There's something you should know, Torin. If you save me, Virian law binds you to me as starbound companion, forever tied to the throne." Torin freezes, the word forever like a chain around his heart. Freedom for Arendor was his goal, not a life chained to an alien empire. But looking at Silvara, her strength shining through her fragility, he feels something shift. "Then I'd better not fail," he says, his voice steady despite the storm inside. Their conversation is cut short by a deafening explosion. The chamber shakes, crystal walls flickering wildly as alarms scream. Torin grabs Silvara, shielding her as debris rains down. Through the shattered doorway, he sees smoke billowing from the direction of the greenhouse. "No," he breathes, his heart sinking. His plants, his hope, are under attack. Korath bursts in, his blade drawn. "Sabotage," he barks. "The greenhouse is burning." Torin's eyes meet Silvara's, her face pale but resolute. "Go," she says, gripping his hand. "Save what you can." Torin sprints toward the greenhouse, Korath at his heels, his mind racing. The nanotech, the explosion, it's no coincidence. Someone wants Silvara dead and his work destroyed. As flames lick the horizon, he clutches the pendant, the seeds within his last chance. But a chilling realization hits. The traitor knows he's close to the truth. Can Torin salvage his plants and expose the conspiracy before the Empire crushes him? Or will the flames consume everything he's fought for? Stay tuned, because the next chapter will ignite your soul. Flames roar against the translucent dome of Astralis's royal greenhouse, casting jagged shadows that dance like specters across the alien flora within. The air chokes with acrid smoke, the bioluminescent vines curling into ash, as Torin Varn sprints through the chaos, his heart pounding like a war drum. The explosion that rocked the palace minutes ago wasn't an accident. It was a death sentence for Princess Silvara and his fragile hope of curing her cosmic fungal parasite. The verdant thorn sprouts, his lifeline to saving her and freeing Arendor, are burning, and with them the Empire's future. But Torin's no stranger to loss. With the pendant of seeds clutched tight and Commander Korath's heavy boots thundering behind him, he dives into the inferno, driven by a human stubbornness that even a galactic empire can't crush. Yet as fire consumes his work, a darker truth emerges. The traitor within Astralis is closing in. Torin skids to a halt before the hydroponic trays, flames licking the edges of the greenhouse's crystal frame. The air sears his lungs, but he drops to his knees, shielding his face as he scans the wreckage. Most of the verdant thorn sprouts are charred, their delicate green reduced to brittle black. His stomach twists, but he spots a single tray, half buried under a fallen beam, its soil still damp, a few sprouts clinging to life. "Come on," he mutters, clawing through the debris, his hands blistering from the heat. Korath looms nearby, his 4 golden eyes reflecting the fire. "It's lost, farmer," he barks, gripping his energy blade. "Get out before the dome collapses." Torin ignores him, yanking the tray free. 3 sprouts, barely enough for a single dose of extract. His fingers brush the pendant at his neck, the last seeds of Arendor inside. He can replant, start again, but time is Silvara's enemy. The nanotech he found in the fungus, that shimmering proof of sabotage, weighs on his mind. This fire wasn't random. Someone knew exactly where to strike. He stumbles to his feet, clutching the tray, when a glint catches his eye, a sleek insect-like drone, no bigger than his fist, hovering in the smoke. Its lens glows red, then darts away, vanishing into the flames. "Drones," Torin growls, his voice tight. This was planned. Korath's blade hums to life, its purple glow cutting through the haze. "Move," he roars, as another explosion shakes the greenhouse, shards of crystal raining down. Torin sprints for the exit, the tray cradled against his chest, Korath clearing a path through falling debris. They burst into the cool night of Astralis's orbital platform, alarms blaring across the palace. Guards swarm the area, their armor glinting under artificial stars. Torin coughs, smoke burning his throat, but his eyes lock on a figure approaching through the chaos. Silvara, her medical drone struggling to keep pace, her blue skin ghostly in the firelight. "Torin," she calls, her voice raw with fear and resolve. She reaches him, her violet eyes scanning his soot-streaked face. "The plants, are they?" He holds up the tray, the 3 sprouts, a pitiful sight. "Enough to keep you breathing," he says, "but not for long." Her gaze hardens, and she grips his arm, her touch steady despite her frailty. Then we fight for every second. But Torin's mind is elsewhere, replaying the drone's red eye. "This wasn't an accident," he says, low enough for only her to hear. "Someone's trying to kill you, and they're inside these walls." Silvara's breath catches, but before she can respond, Chief Medic Vrenna emerges from the crowd, her silver hair disheveled, her voice sharp. "This is your fault," she accuses, pointing at Torin. "Your primitive experiments destabilized the greenhouse." Torin steps forward, anger flaring. "My plants don't summon drones with targeting systems," he snaps. "This was sabotage, and you know it." Vrenna's eyes flicker, fear or guilt, but she turns to Korath. "Arrest him! He's a threat to the princess." Korath hesitates, his blade still drawn, but Silvara steps between them, her voice cutting like a blade. "No, Torin's the only reason I'm alive. Find the real threat, Vrenna." The medic retreats, but her glare lingers, venomous. Korath sheathes his blade, his gaze unreadable. "The Emperor demands a report," he says, gesturing for Torin to follow. But Torin's eyes meet Silvara's, and a silent understanding passes between them. The drone, the nanotech, Vrenna's hostility, it all points to a traitor with power. "We need to talk," he murmurs to her, alone. She nods, her hand brushing his, a spark of warmth in the cold night. As they move towards the palace, Torin's grip tightens on the tray. The fires destroyed his work, but those 3 sprouts and the seeds in his pendant are a flicker of hope. Yet the drone's red eye haunts him. Whoever's behind this knows he's close to exposing them. Can Torin protect Silvara and unravel the traitor's plan before the next strike? Or will Astralis's glittering halls become his tomb? Stay tuned, because the Empire's secrets are burning brighter, and the next twist will leave you speechless. The Grand Hall of Astralis pulses with the heartbeat of an empire on the brink, its crystalline columns shimmering like frozen lightning under a dome that mirrors the endless stars. Torin Varn stands at its center, his soot-streaked hands gripping a salvaged tray of 3 fragile verdant thorn sprouts, the last hope to save Princess Silvara from the cosmic fungal parasite eating her alive. The greenhouse fire, a traitor's strike, still smolders in his memory, but the nanotech drone he glimpsed in the flames has sharpened his resolve. Someone in this glittering palace, maybe Chief Medic Vrenna, maybe someone higher, wants Silvara dead and Torin's work destroyed. Now, as Emperor Thalor's gaze burns into him and whispers of betrayal ripple through the court, Torin faces a choice that could chain him to the Empire forever. But with Silvara's life and Arendor's freedom at stake, he's ready to play the Empire's game and win. The hall thrums with the presence of Virian's elite, their metallic robes glinting like shards of a broken moon. Thalor stands on a dais, his pale blue skin glowing faintly, his voice a low thunder. "The fungal parasite has spread to 12 loyal worlds," he declares, holographic maps flaring to life, red dots pulsing across star systems like bloodstains. "Our biotech fails, yet this human claims he can stop it." The court murmurs, skeptical eyes fixed on Torin. He feels the weight of their disdain but stands tall, the tray of sprouts a testament to his defiance. Commander Korath flanks the Emperor, his 4 golden eyes unreadable, while Vrenna hovers nearby, her silver hair a cold halo, her silence sharper than any accusation. Silvara steps forward, her medical drone whirring softly, her blue skin less ashen than before, thanks to Torin's extracts. Her violet eyes meet his, a silent anchor in the storm. "Torin's methods work," she says, her voice steady despite her frailty. "His plants stabilized me when nothing else could." The court stirs, but Vrenna cuts in, her tone venomous. "Temporary relief at best," she snaps. "We cannot entrust the Empire's future to a farmer's dirt tricks." Torin's jaw tightens, but he holds up the tray. "This dirt trick is the only thing keeping her alive," he says, his voice ringing clear, "and I can prove it." Thalor's gaze narrows. "Speak, human." Torin steps forward, his heart pounding but his words steady. "The fungus is engineered, laced with nanotech to evade your scanners. It's not a disease, it's a weapon, and Silvara's blood holds the key to stopping it." He pauses, meeting Silvara's wide eyes. The verdant thorn extract binds to her cells, creating antibodies. Her blood could save those 12 worlds. The hall erupts in gasps, nobles exchanging shocked glances. Vrenna's face pales, her hands clenching, a crack in her composure that Torin files away. Thalor descends the dais, his presence suffocating. "You propose using my daughter's blood as a cure?" Torin nods, unflinching. "It's the only way, but I need time to grow more plants, refine the extract." Silvara steps closer, her voice soft but firm. "And to protect the cure, we must secure my position." She turns to her father. "The court doubts me because I'm ill. Bind Torin as starbound companion and let his success prove my strength." The words hit Torin like a meteor. The companion law, a lifelong bond to the throne, would strip his freedom as surely as chains. Erendor's liberation was his goal, not eternity in an alien court. But Silvara's gaze holds him, her trust a weight he can't shake. Thalor's eyes flicker between them, calculating. "The law requires a binding oath," he says. "If you save her, human, you are hers. Forever." The court falls silent, every eye on Torin. He thinks of his burned fields, his people's hope, then of Silvara's fleeting smile in the greenhouse. "I'll do it," he says, his voice steady despite the storm within. "For her, for them." Silvara's breath catches, her hand brushing his, a spark in the cold hall. But before Thalor can speak, a holographic figure materializes at the hall's center, Princess Neris, Silvara's younger sister, her blue skin vibrant, her eyes cold as ice. "This is farce," she sneers, her voice echoing through the hall. "Silvara's too weak to rule, and you'd trust a human worm? I claim the throne as regent." The court explodes in whispers, nobles shifting allegiances like sand. Thalor's face hardens. "You challenge my heir?" Neris smiles, venomous. "I challenge her right to breathe." The hologram vanishes, but her words linger like poison. Torin's grip tightens on the tray, the sprouts trembling. Neris's timing, the greenhouse fire, the nanotech. It's all connected. She's the traitor, or her puppet master is. Silvara's hand squeezes his, her eyes fierce. "We'll prove her wrong," she whispers. But as guards usher them from the hall, Torin's mind races. Neris's fleet is out there, and the fungus is spreading. Can he grow enough plants to save Silvara and expose Neris before the Empire tears itself apart? Or will the binding oath become his noose? Stay tuned, because the stars are about to bleed, and the next chapter will blow your mind. The Stellarian arena floats like a jagged crown above Astralis, its obsidian walls drinking in the light of 1,000 artificial stars, their glow fractured by the arena's domed force field. Torin Varn stands at its heart, his borrowed armor chafing his farmer's frame, a humming energy blade heavy in his calloused hand. The crowd's roar shakes the air, nobles in shimmering robes, soldiers in gleaming plate, all hungry for blood. Princess Neris's challenge to Torin's starbound companion status has ignited the Empire, her claim to the throne hinging on his defeat. If he falls, Princess Silvara's claim dies with him, and the cosmic fungal parasite ravaging 12 worlds will spread unchecked. Torin's no warrior, but with Erendor's freedom and Silvara's life on the line, he'll face a legend to prove a farmer's heart can outshine an empire's steel. Yet as the arena's traps hum to life, a darker threat looms, one that could end everything before the duel begins. Torin's breath steadies, his dark eyes scanning the arena. The floor pulses with hidden energy grids, ready to unleash plasma arcs or gravity spikes at random. Across from him stands General Zorin, a colossus in spiked armor, his blue skin scarred from 100 battles, his 4 amber eyes glinting with predatory calm. Zorin's blade, twice the size of Torin's, crackles with violet energy, its hum a promise of death. "You're no match, human," Zorin growls, his voice booming over the crowd. "Yield, and I'll make it quick." Torin grips his blade tighter, thinking of Silvara's violet eyes, her trust anchoring him. "I'm not here to die," he says, voice sharp. "I'm here to win." The signal blares and Zorin charges, his blade a blur of light. Torin dives aside, the strike scorching the floor where he stood, sparks flying like dying stars. The crowd roars, but Torin's focus narrows, his farmer's instincts kicking in. Watch, adapt, survive. Commander Korath's training echoes in his mind. Zorin's strong but proud. Use his ego. Torin feints left, then rolls right, his blade grazing Zorin's leg, drawing a thin line of blue blood. The general snarls, swinging wildly, and Torin ducks, the blade whistling over his head. A plasma arc erupts from the floor, forcing Torin to leap back, his armor singed. The arena's traps are as deadly as his foe. From the royal balcony, Silvara watches, her hands gripping the railing, her medical drone hovering close. Her blue skin glows faintly, bolstered by Torin's last verdant thorn dose, but her eyes burn with fear and faith. Emperor Thalor stands beside her, his face a mask, while Chief Medic Vrenna lingers nearby, her silver hair catching the starlight, her expression unreadable. Torin catches Silvara's gaze, a fleeting connection that steals his resolve. He's not just fighting for her, he's fighting for the 12 worlds, for Erendor, for a chance to expose the traitor-weaving nanotech into the fungus. Zorin presses forward, his strikes relentless, each one shaking Torin's arms. The general's size is overwhelming, but Torin notices a pattern. Zorin favors his right, his left side slower, scarred from old wounds. Torin baits him, dodging right, then darting left, slashing at Zorin's flank. The blade bites armor, not deep, but enough to stagger the giant. The crowd gasps, some cheering for the human, a ripple of defiance in Virian's ranks. Zorin's eyes blaze and he triggers a gravity spike, the floor lurching upward. Torin stumbles, his blade skittering away, and Zorin looms, raising his weapon for the kill. "Torin!" Silvara's cry cuts through the noise, her voice a lifeline. He rolls, snatching his blade as a plasma arc flares, singeing Zorin's arm. Seizing the moment, Torin lunges, driving his blade into Zorin's shoulder, where armor meets flesh. The general roars, collapsing to one knee, blood pooling on the obsidian floor. "Yield!" Torin shouts, his voice raw but firm. Zorin glares, then drops his blade, his amber eyes dimming. "I yield," he mutters. The arena erupts, cheers drowning out the noble's shock. Thalor raises a hand, silencing the crowd. "The human has proven his bond," he declares. Silvara's claim stands. Torin, chest heaving, looks to Silvara, her face alight with relief and pride. But as guards escort him from the arena, a chill runs through him. Vrena's gaze lingers too long, and a faint hum, like the drone from the greenhouse, buzzes in his ear. Neris's defeat here won't stop her. Her fleet is closing in, and the fungus spreads faster. Torin's victory has painted a target on his back, and the traitor's next move is coming. Can he protect Silvara and stop Neris before the Empire falls? Or will the arena's triumph be his last? Stay tuned, because the stars are burning, and the next chapter will shatter everything. The celestial amphitheater of Astralis gleams like a supernova frozen in time, its tiered seats carved from translucent quartz, reflecting the artificial stars that blaze above. Torin Varn stands at its core, his armor still scorched from the Stellarian arena, his hands steady as he prepares a vial of verdant thorn extract, the last hope to prove his cure for the cosmic fungal parasite ravaging Princess Silvara and 12 Virian worlds. His victory over General Zorin has cemented his role as starbound companion, but Princess Neris's rebellion looms closer, her fleet a shadow on the Empire's edge. The nanotech drone from the greenhouse fire and Chief Medic Vrena's venomous glares point to a traitor within, and today, before the Empire's nobles, Torin will unveil the truth or die trying. With Silvara's life and Arendor's freedom at stake, this human farmer is about to show Virion what a seed of hope can do. The amphitheater thrums with the murmurs of Virion's elite, their metallic robes shimmering like liquid comets. Emperor Thalor presides from a central podium, his pale blue skin glowing faintly, his eyes a storm of resolve and doubt. Silvara stands beside Torin, her blue skin brighter, her violet eyes fierce despite the fungus's lingering grip. Her medical drone hovers silently, a testament to Torin's extracts keeping her alive. "Begin," Thalor commands, his voice echoing like a pulsar. Torin steps forward holding a syringe of verdant thorn extract, its green glow pulsing softly. A volunteer, a young guard infected with the fungus, lies on a medical platform, his tremors mirroring Silvara's early symptoms. Torin's voice cuts through the murmurs. "Your biotech fails because the fungus is no disease. It's a weapon, laced with nanotech to hide from your scanners." He injects the guard with Virion's standard antitoxin, and the crowd watches as the tremors ease, only to return worse within minutes. Gasps ripple through the nobles. "Your medicine masks the symptoms," Torin says, "but mine destroys the fungus." He administers the verdant thorn extract, and the change is swift. Tremors still, breathing steadies, color returns to the guard's face. A holographic scanner flares, showing the fungus neutralized, antibodies blooming in the guard's blood. The amphitheater erupts in shocked whispers. Silvara steps forward, her voice clear and commanding. Torin's cure works, but the fungus targets loyal worlds, a pattern of sabotage. She activates a holographic map, red dots clustering around Thalor's strongholds. This is no plague, it's treason. The nobles shift, some removing sashes of Neris's colors, their loyalties wavering. Torin holds up a sealed container. "I'm giving every house here seeds and instructions to grow this cure," he says. "The Empire's survival isn't mine to control, it's yours." The gesture stuns the court, nobles leaning forward, recalculating allegiances. Even Vrena, standing near Thalor, falters, her silver hair catching the light like a blade. But a voice slices through the clamor. "Lies!" Vrena steps forward, her face twisted with rage. "This human's manipulating you. The princess was never ill, just a ploy to seize power." Torin's blood runs cold. Vrena's not just denying the cure, she's accusing Silvara. He steps toward her, anger flaring. "I saw the nanotech in the fungus," he says, voice low and dangerous. "The same tech in the drone that burned the greenhouse. You know who built it." Vrenna's eyes widen, a flicker of fear, but she recovers, turning to Thalor. Arrest him. He's a threat to the Empire. Silvara grabs Torin's arm, her touch grounding him. She's hiding something, she whispers. Thalor's gaze shifts to Vrenna, his voice cold. Explain yourself, medic. Before Vrenna can respond, a guard rushes in, face pale. Your Majesty, Neris's fleet has jumped to our system, 3 hours out. The amphitheater falls silent, the map pulsing with new red dots. Warships closing in. Torin's mind races. Vrenna's outburst, Neris's timing. It's coordinated. The medic's been feeding Neris intelligence, maybe even crafting the fungus. Thalor's voice cuts through the panic. Secure the palace. Torin, Silvara, prepare the cure for distribution. As nobles scatter, Torin pulls Silvara aside, his voice urgent. Vrenna's the traitor, or she's working for one. We need her records. Silvara nods, her eyes fierce. Then we'll get them, together. Their hands brush, a spark of trust in the chaos. Torin clutches the container of seeds, the cure's future in his grip. But as they move toward the palace's core, a faint hum, like the greenhouse drone, buzzes in his ear, and Vrenna's shadow vanishes into the crowd. Neris's fleet is coming, and the traitors ready to strike. Can Torin and Silvara expose Vrenna before the Empire burns? Or will Neris's warships turn Astralis to ash? Stay tuned, because the truth is rising, and the next chapter will ignite the stars. The void around Astralis burns with the fury of war, Princess Neris's dreadnoughts slicing through the stars like blades, their plasma cannons painting the sky in molten red. Inside the palace's command center, Torin Varn stands shoulder to shoulder with Princess Silvara, their hands stained with verdant thorn extract, as they race to arm a massive antibody diffuser, a fusion of human ingenuity and Virian tech designed to spread Silvara's fungal immunity across the Empire. The traitor, Chief Medic Vrenna, has fled, her nanotech-laced fungal weapon exposed, but Neris's fleet closes in, threatening to crush Astralis before the cure can save the 12 infected worlds. Torin, a farmer from Erendor, is now the Empire's last hope, bound to Silvara as starbound companion. As alarms scream and the palace shakes, he's ready to fight, not just for freedom, but for a future forged in fire and trust. Holographic displays flare, showing Neris's ships outnumbering Virian's defenses 5-1. Emperor Thalor barks orders, his pale blue skin taut with resolve, while Commander Korath relays tactical updates, his 4 golden eyes grim. Torin adjusts the diffuser, its core pulsing with Silvara's antibody-laced blood, amplified by verdant thorn compounds. It's ready, he says, voice steady despite the chaos. Silvara, her blue skin glowing brighter, nods, her violet eyes locked on his. Then let's end this, she says, her hand brushing his, a spark of strength in the storm. The palace lurches as a plasma blast grazes its shields. Torin activates the diffuser, its hum rising to a roar as it releases a shimmering mist into Astralis's atmosphere, spreading immunity to the fungus. Holograms show the cure taking hold, tremors ceasing on infected worlds, red dots fading from the map. But Neris's voice crackles through a hacked channel, her hologram sneering. You think your dirt magic can stop me? She taunts. Astralis falls tonight. Silvara steps forward, her voice steel. You poisoned our people, Neris. Your reign ends here. Korath's console beeps urgently. She's targeting the diffuser, he warns. Torin's heart races. Neris knows the cure's source. He grabs Silvara's arm. We need to move it, now. They sprint to the diffuser's platform, guards falling in around them as drones, sleek, red-eyed like the greenhouse saboteur, swarm from the shadows. Vrenna's work, Torin realizes, her betrayal running deeper than he feared. He snatches Korath's energy blade, its purple glow flaring, and slashes a drone in half, sparks raining down. Silvara activates a shield emitter, her drone whirring, deflecting a blast. "Keep going," she shouts, her courage igniting Torin's own. They reach the platform, rerouting the diffuser to a secondary tower, but a drone dives, its payload glowing ominously. Torin tackles Silvara, shielding her as the explosion rocks the tower, shrapnel grazing his arm. Pain sears through him, but he pulls her up, the diffuser still humming. "It's working," she gasps, holograms showing the cure spreading faster. Neris's fleet falters, her soldiers succumbing to the diffused immunity, their fungal sabotage undone. Korath's voice crackles over comms. "Her flagship's retreating." The command center cheers, but Torin's eyes narrow. "Vrenna," he mutters, "she's still out there." Hours later, Neris's rebellion collapses, her flagship captured in a distant system. Vrenna, exposed as her co-conspirator, is arrested, her nanotech lab sealed. Torin and Silvara stand on a palace balcony, overlooking Astralis's spires, now bathed in starlight. Arendor's people are free, settled on a new world, their messages of gratitude warming Torin's heart. Silvara, her health restored, wears a simple gown, her golden hair catching the breeze. "You changed everything," she says, her voice soft. "Not just for me, but for Virion." Torin shrugs, a shy smile breaking through. "Just did what a farmer does, plant, fight, grow." She steps closer, her violet eyes searching his. "And us?" she asks. Torin thinks of the companion oath, the Empire's weight, then of her touch in the fire. "I didn't expect you," he admits, "but I'm not leaving." She smiles, her hand finding his, and they stand together, the Empire stretching before them, a partnership forged in crisis, rooted in trust. What can we learn from Torin and Silvara's saga? That even a farmer's hands can reshape an empire, that human grit and heart can outshine the grandest tech. Their story teaches us that hope grows in the darkest soil, that trust and sacrifice can bridge worlds, and that no matter how vast the stars, a single spark of courage can light the way. It's a reminder to plant your own seeds, whether ideas, dreams, or love, and fight for them no matter the odds. Let their unyielding flame inspire you to stand tall, to create, to endure. If this tale of human awesomeness lit a spark in you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Your support fuels more epic HFY stories, and we've got galaxies of adventures coming. Drop a comment. What's your seed of hope? Stay tuned, because the stars are calling, and the next story will blow your mind.